What is going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the corner. We've got a Monday delicacy. We've got some COOF files shared by Elon Musk with Alex Berenson. Well, we knew last week I felt a little deprived. I believe we were promised some Fauci files, and I'm not quite sure we got them. But it seems like maybe the start of that is now. And what's interesting is just how the Olympic levels of, I don't know, denial that the media seems to be in terms of the Twitter files and everything that's been revealed in them. I can only hope that, Republican leaders, because I can't count on any Democrats, some Republicans are kind of taking notes of this. So Elon tweets out more Twitter files. Some conspiracies are actually true. Well, it sure seems like it's more than some, but I appreciate you tuning in. If you enjoyed my Twitter files coverage and you haven't yet, please do click that subscribe button down below. I know a lot of you just check my channel, and that's cool, but it does help to, it helps the channel to also be subscribed so YouTube sees people actually want to see my videos. My first Twitter files report, how Scott Gottlieb, a top Pfizer board member, used the same Twitter lobbyist as the White House to suppress debate on the COOF poke, including from a fellow head of the U.S. FDA. Yikes. In August 2021, Gottlieb told Todd O'Boyle, a senior manager in Twitter's public policy department, that a tweet from Dr. Brett, Greer, claiming correctly that natural immunity was superior to the poke, was corrosive and, quote, might go viral. Such a doctor saying a fact, a scientific fact. They were worried about a scientific fact going live. Twitter got a misleading tag on the tweet, preventing it from being shared. Gottlieb then went after a tweet about the low risk to kids from Justin Hart. Hey, it follows me. I'll follow you, bud. Pfizer would soon win the okay for its shots for the young ones, so keeping parents scared was crucial. Of course. You know, it's funny, like, let me continue. This is weird. Alex didn't lay it out perfectly. He's got like 4 kind of ramshackle tweets here, and then a link to an article, which I'll bring up. In October 2022, Scott Gottlieb claimed on Twitter and CNBC that he was not trying to suppress debate on these particular pokes. These files prove that Gottlieb, a board member at the company that has made $70 billion on that particular injection, did just that. On August 27th, Dr. Scott Gottlieb, a Pfizer director with over 550,000 Twitter followers, saw a tweet he didn't like, and a tweet that might hurt the sales of Pfizer's poke. By the way, this is Alex Berenson reporting. I want to get his at. Oh, it's just at Alex Berenson. I was already following him, but if you should give him a follow. The tweet explained correctly that natural immunity after the COOF infection was superior to the poke protection. It called on the White House to follow the science and exempt people with natural immunity from upcoming poke mandates. It came not from an anti-vaxxer like Robert F. Kennedy Jr., but Dr. Brett Greer, a physician who had briefly followed Gottlieb as the head of the FDA. Further, the tweet actually encouraged people who did not have natural immunity to get the poke. No matter, by suggesting that some people might not need it, the tweet could raise questions about their product. I'm just going to refer to the poke as the product now, because it seems to me that that's how this Pfizer guy would have seen it, right? Besides being a former FDA commissioner, a CNBC contributor, and a prominent voice on the COOF public policy, Gottlieb was a senior board member at Pfizer, which depended on their product for almost half of its $81 billion in sales in 2021. Pfizer paid Gottlieb $365,000 for his work that year. Gottlieb stepped in, emailing Todd O'Boyle, a top lobbyist in Twitter's Washington office, who was also Twitter's point of contact with the White House. The post was, quote, corrosive, Gottlieb wrote. He worried that it could, quote, end up going viral and driving news coverage. Yeah? I mean, this is a pretty big deal that they're suppressing this. Like, this I would say is the beginning of the Fauci files. This is the kind of stuff that's corrosive. Here he draws a sweeping conclusion of a single retrospective study in Israel that hasn't been peer-reviewed. But this tweet will end up going viral and driving news coverage. Whining is essentially demanding it to be deplatformed, I would imagine. That's my interpretation of it. I found the email in the search records I ran at Twitter last week, part of Elon Musk's Twitter files, an effort to raise the veil on censorship decisions Twitter made before Musk bought the company in October. I went into detail about my involvement at the Twitter files in a Substack article yesterday. I plan more on reporting on the files in the weeks to come. Through Jira, an internal system Twitter used for managing complaints, O'Boyle forwarded Gottlieb's email to the Twitter strategic response team. The group was responsible for handling concerns from the company's most important employees and users. Quote, please see the report from the former FDA commissioner. It's funny they put it that way. O'Boyle wrote, failing to mention that Gottlieb was a Pfizer board member with financial interest in pushing the product. A strategic response analyst quickly found that the tweet did not violate any of the company's misinformation rules. Yet Twitter wound up flagging the tweet anyway, putting a misleading tag on it and preventing almost anyone from seeing it. It remains tagged, even though several large studies have now confirmed the truth. Absolutely deplorable. Criminal behavior. A week later, September 3rd, Gottlieb tried to strike again, complaining to O'Boyle about a tweet from Justin Hart. Hart is a lockdown and COOF poke skeptic with more than 100,000 Twitter followers. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but a viral pathogen with a child mortality rate of less than 0% or whatever it says has cost our children nearly 3 years of schooling. Why Gottlieb objected to Hart's words is not clear, but the Pfizer product would soon be approved for kids 5 to 11, representing another massive market for Pfizer if parents could be convinced that it was a real threat to their kids. O'Boyle referred to the, quote, former FDA commissioner Gottlieb when he forwarded the report, again ignoring Gottlieb's current work for Pfizer. Absolutely disgusting. This time, though, Gottlieb's complaint was so far afield that Twitter refused to act. At the same time, Gottlieb was also pressing Twitter to act against me, as I disclosed on Substack on October 13, 2022, drawing on documents that Twitter's pre-Musk regime provided to me as part of my lawsuit against it. Remember, this guy got banned from Twitter and he actually sued and got reinstated. The morning after I wrote this article, Gottlieb appeared on CNBC, the financial news channel where he is a contributor, and offered what was at best was a seriously misleading explanation of his actions and for his motives. Gottlieb did not deny pressing Twitter on me. He could not, given the documents I had released the night before. But in the interview with Joe Kernan of CNBC, Gottlieb said that he had asked Twitter to act only because he was concerned if tweets raised the threat of bad behavior against poke advocates. What? Nobody believes that. The inability of these platforms to police direct threats about people, that's my concern about what's going on in the ecosystem, Gottlieb says. Oh yeah, not the product, not your company's product, right? I am unconcerned about the debate being made, Gottlieb told Kernan. I am concerned about the physical threats being made for people's safety. In a tweet that morning, Gottlieb doubled down, writing, respectfully, debate and dialogue is one thing and should be encouraged and protected, but there's no place for targeted harassment and misleading dialogue, which can instigate a small but persuadable group of people to make targeted and dangerous threats. But Brett Gurer's tweets about natural immunity was the definition of respectful debate and dialogue. And his own email to Todd O'Boyle, Gottlieb did not raise any security concerns over it. He simply complained that it might wind up driving news coverage and might slow the purchase of his company's product. Gottlieb is not just a Pfizer board member. He is one of 7 members of the board executive committee and the head of its regulatory and compliance committee, which oversees compliance with laws, regulations, and internal procedures applicable to pharmaceutical sales and marketing activities. Pfizer has a long history of violating drug industry laws and ethics rules. In 2009, it agreed to pay $2.3 billion, the largest healthcare fraud settlement in American history, for fraudulently marketing several drugs. In 1996, it conducted a clinical trial for an antibiotic in Nigeria in which 11 children didn't survive and became the inspiration for John le Carre's novel, The Constant Gardener. So how will Pfizer react to the black and white proof from Twitter's records that one of its most powerful board members tried to suppress debate on their product, just as they've been, it's been by far their best-selling product since 2020, and will CNBC continue to let Gottlieb use it to mislead the public? You had the board member of Pfizer emailing to get Twitter conversations shut down because, in my opinion, he was worried it was going to affect the sales of his poke. He was never worried about the debate. He was only worried about the sales. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you have notifications on. I suspect all heck's going to break loose this week. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.